And there we go, we should be live now. It's round 11. Yeah, it was a good race. It was a good race, not for myself, but in terms of driving, overtakes, there were plenty going on. We did have a few incidents, a few safety cars, so... Yeah, definitely. One sec. You can't hear Josh? No. For God's sake. Can you... Sorry, Josh, can you just check your sharing settings? Because Nick is saying that she can't hear you. Can you hear him yet? No. Yeah, should be, bud. Should be. I'm just going in now. Sorry, just bear with me. I'm just diving into my settings. It's all set. Just wait and see if...
Wow. That's better. Can you hear me now?
But there won't be yet, because the stream's a bit behind where I actually am.
Yeah, I had to click allow your voice to be shared. And yeah, now it's allowed, so... My bad. But now we've got two commentators. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, it's fine now, Josh. I've just double checked.
Brilliant. Yeah, that was my bad. That's on me.
Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, we're here now. Two commentators, not just Clay, so yeah, going to be a bit more entertaining for you.
Reggie's just commented as well, saying it's a dry weekend, so all dry.
Just see some pretty good racing then. People can just run dry setups and just go flat out. It's what you want round here. It's pretty treacherous when it starts raining. It's already quite a low downforce track.
It is, as you were touching on before anyone could actually hear you. It's the sort of track that, a setup is key here. The technicals, Sector 1 and Sector 3, but then the massive straights, you don't want to lose too much speed, having that rear wing too high.
It's tricky as well when you've got straights such as that and then corners following it, because if you've got a straight like that coming out or a technical Sector 1, it can really interrupt your flow going into sector 3. You need to find a rhythm, and when you've got two big straights like that and just a little chicane to sort of manoeuvre, you sort of fall out of rhythm by the time you get to sector 3. So it's going to be crucial to just try and stay on it, really.
Yeah, I was on board with Nerf Pack there, but he invalidated at the chicane. I'm just on board with AP Marge, who's on a hot lap.
Got Carl Trim setting early pace on a 1:32.9, so expecting that to be toppled quite quickly. We've got 1:31.1. Ninja's been posting some pretty promising times apparently. Just been trying to get a gauge on people that have been practicing and stuff, and by the sounds of it, a lot of people are actually quite struggling around here. And I think, like we've been saying, it's just one of those tracks where it's got two technical sectors and then one sector that's just drive forwards. And I think it's a recipe for trouble sometimes.
The Bartmandu sets a 30.9. Yeah, as you say, it's a track that I think a lot of people, you either love it or hate it. It's not one of my favourite tracks.
It's quite
I wouldn't say it's one I dislike.
Nice. Yeah, I think it depends where you're starting as well. You really don't want to get caught in midfield, and if you do, you want to be at the back of the midfield so you're getting that slipstream. Gameful Odds mentioned that it's going to kill ERS going down that straight just due to the slipstream, and I think that's what we're going to be talking a lot about, considering we'll be seeing a lot of moves going down the straight. So it's all about who manages it better, really. We've got some drivers to watch. We've got, in no particular order, I'm not going to read them out, but we're going to be keeping an eye on everyone. We're expecting to see some pretty damn tight racing, as it has been all season, really, in Tier 3. It's been quite impressive. Yeah,
definitely. They put a good show on every week for us. I'm just on board with the fan favourite Osso at the moment.
Also, have we got much support from the Ozone today? Have they been piping up yet, or are they all quiet?
Yeah, there's a few comments.
He's been looking to bounce back from a bit of a dip in form recently, actually. I think the last couple of races he's had, they've not quite been... they've not set the world alight, have they? So he's going to be looking to make amends for it.
It looks like we have lost Steve as well. Looks like our hound's crashed out.
That's not ideal. He's another as well who needs to... He needs to kickstart his season, doesn't he? Oh, yeah. Disqualification, that's not great for him.
Bartmandu disqualified when he was in P2 as well.
Oh dear. So we could see a fight back from him. I think maybe he's just starting a campaign for Driver at Week.
And ODD Wickens just crashed out as well, out of the chicane on the back straight.
Wow. Yeah, we're seeing some people struggling. I mean, surely they've been doing practice, but it's just like in Tier 1 I think we had wet Q1 and maybe a little bit of rain in Q2, and I went out in Q1 because I didn't hook a laps together, more invalidations and stuff, so yeah, I think we're going to see people struggling with that, but spinning it, that's pretty tricky to spin it round here.
There's a few places where, it can catch you out, turn 3 being one, but with a runoff there, you don't tend to hit a barrier.
Yeah,
onto that back straight to the DRS zone. If you clip that curve there, that can throw you into a wall.
And drivers are going to want to be staying on track as well, because we've got, just as in real life, we've got quite an abrasive runoff area. If you remember in actual race, it were killing tyres when people ran wide.
Yeah, it was. I know tyre wear is quite high at this track as well.
Yeah, it's bad.
You notice your softs will start to go off after, around 4 or 5 laps.
It's not a qualification tyre. Well, it's not a race start tyre, rather. You're going to want to be trying to get through on mediums, ideally. The one-stop's probably the better strategy to be on, but a 2-stop is possible, and the pit lane's actually quite short, so if you were trying to undercut someone... I'm not sure how effective it'd be in a 50% race, but... we saw it in real life. Max did 2 stops and ended up taking race wins, so yeah, we might see someone try and pull that one off. It all depends on which direction race goes in, I suppose. We might get an early safety car and everyone pits and tyre strategy just goes out the window, which, you know, it's been case quite a lot of times across all 3 tiers.
That's exactly it. My strategy went out the window on Friday, just down to safety cars. I think we had 4 safety cars in total.
Yeah, it's possible, isn't it? And you can't get it right every time. Sometimes you're going to make a wrong decision, but we're getting to the thick end of championship fight now, so every decision's got a lot more weight on it.
As Kane Lowry sets a 30.5 and goes top. Beautiful lap there from Kane.
Kane Lowry's on the drivers to watch list. He's on 101 points, so I think that's mainly down to his consistency, which is underrated. It's a massive thing, consistency. So he's doing really well to actually be in that position. If he keeps setting times like that, he could get a pretty good result today.
Yeah, he's had a few unlucky results in previous weeks.
Yeah.
You know, he's qualified up there, but then some, you know, no fault of his own, some tricky conditions and stuff like that, he's been caught out.
He strikes me as a cool racer. You know, like Raikkonen or Hakkinen or something like that. I think he's
just
actually
because he's finished.
But, no, but like you never see him doing banzai overtaking moves or, you know, like all or nothing around the outside of bloody Sandivot moves. He always ends up just getting to where he needs to get to in a quite understated fashion. And obviously proves there in championship standings that he's up at top end of it somewhere. That's what it's all about, is consistency.
Yeah, consistency is key.
First finish.
Just on board with Reggie as he comes through that first corner in sector 3 now.
Still needing to set a lap. Just right on board with him. So he's on his lap currently then. Let's take a look at his sector times if we can get him up. Oh, that's pretty much useless, it's just telling me what time he's on at minute, but we'll see what he's on when he comes across the line. Taking a pretty good line actually going into the final couple of corners. It's a tricky one to nail, but yeah, it seems pretty tidy. Just straight line it straight to the finish line and see where you end up.
P7.
He'll be happy with that. He'll be happy. He's safe. Obviously, it's the bottom 2 you don't want to be in because we've lost 3 drivers, so there's really only 2 cars that are going to be getting eliminated. King Luckman's on an outlap, so is Paranoid. One of the guys that, you know, he's got a championship to think about at minute, Paranoid, so he's going to be feeling stress of it now. Could see a few mistakes from him.
I'll jump on board with Dylan. He's going to be first across the line of the 3 that haven't set a time yet. He's on an invalidated lap at the moment, so just provided he's got enough fuel, he should give it another go here.
His soft tyres might be a little bit dead, but hopefully he's got enough left in him to take him up into the top 15. I feel like Luckman could get a good result. Seems to be not hitting a bit of form recently, but he's coming out of his shell a little bit. One of the finer personalities at League. I feel like he's putting in the hours behind the scenes. I've been messaging him, helping him out with setup because he keeps asking me.
Yeah, I've noticed in the F2 as well.
Yeah, he's my biggest fan. It's only because I let him finish first that time in practice, but he doesn't tell no one that. Anyway, moving on, we're riding on board with Dylan. He's going down the first part of his straight. It looks like he's still pushing, and it doesn't seem like he's invalidated, so like you said, I think, yeah, he's going for a second lap maybe.
Yeah, he had to, obviously knowing that he's one of only 3 drivers not yet to set a time. Only 5 minutes left.
It looks like he's just set a purple sector 2 as well.
That could just be because he's not set a time yet, though.
Possibly. We'll wait and see. He's coming into the first sector. Probably one of most fun sectors to drive in if you get it nailed. F2 cars, I drove a bit last night in F2 cars, and that corner Dylan's just gone through. I'm not even going to bother trying to work out which number it is. It's a tricky corner just to nail it, but you can feel it once you've nailed it. It's a good feeling. Here he comes, he's going down straight. Wow, 130.8. So he's going to be really pleased with that. He's safe.
And while we've been watching Dylan, Ninja snuck up to P2 with a 30.7.
He's really pleased with his pace.
Paranoid and Luckman have both invalidated.
Luckman needs to pull something out at bag. I'm going to ride on board with him and just see how he does.
Yeah, I'm on board with him myself. He'll be first one now going for a lap.
So
I have him and Paranoid.
Let's make one of his dreams come true. Let's make his favourite person ever commentate over one of his laps. So he's just gone through the first couple of corners, seems to get it a little bit messy. Quick right and left, and then this corner coming up, it's a pretty tricky one. You just sort of need to trail brake going into it, but not carry too much speed. And this is all about short shifting up into fourth gear. You want to get it so you're not wheel spinning, and you want to clip this curb on inside to get onto it straight. Otherwise, you just, like he went out wide a little bit there, you hemorrhage in time if you go out wide. If you're losing momentum all the way down onto this straight, you want to just carry it on going forward. So he seems to have got his braking pretty much sorted for chicane. I feel like he could sneak into the top 10 if he hooks up this third sector, and this is where a lot of times actually gains. So we're going to have to just wait and see if he's got the balls to take this right-hander flat. I think he might have had a little bit of a lift there, but I'm not too sure. It seems to be a tidy lap. Not setting world alight, but it's tidy, and that's what you want in Q1.
Yeah, it seems to be doing enough. That section that he's just come through after the back straight, you have that flat out right-hander, the next corner, the long right-hander. I love that corner.
Yeah.
You're just off-throttle, waiting just to pick it back up.
Yeah. It's like, it's one of those corners where you feel like you can always push a bit further, and then when you do try and push a bit further, you end up spinning. So it's addictive in that sense, because you just feel like you can go faster. As Luckman goes into P15 with a 132.5.
I don't think that'll be enough, as Paranoid's coming round the final corner now.
So he's going to have to go and set another lap if he's got it. If he's got enough fuel in his car. He's got 11% ERS, so if he gets round quick enough, he might be able to set another lap if he's got the fuel. But...
And Paranoid goes 13th with a 31.7.
So we're currently losing King Luckman and AP Marge. And AP Marge is quite far off the pace. That's 1.7 seconds off.
Yeah, just looking at his sector time then, he was almost 5 seconds off in sector 2 as he comes into the pits.
Wonder if he's got a gremlin in car, maybe he had wing damage, I'm not...
We've got Jackie who's 2 tenths up at sector 2 split, just coming out of the last corner now. And...
yeah, he's run out of fuel, hasn't he?
Low fuel mode.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. He was on for a good time, though.
So it's just it never rains, it pours. So McLaren, they've not really been having best second half of the season, have they?
John Potts just jumped up to P6 with a 31.2.
Decent lap.
As we saw on Friday, though, the times here are very close.
Yeah, incredibly close. But I think that's more. It's due to the fact that with this point in the season now, everyone sort of converges on each other. It's exciting unless you're actually racing in it, and then it's really intense. But to watch, it's brilliant.
On board now with Nerfpack as he's starting his last flying lap.
Nerfpack's another one that's looking to find a little bit of pace. He's in his first season with CDR, so you'll find a lot of drivers actually bloom in the second season. But he races in F2 as well, and he keeps it on track, he keeps it going forward, which is the main thing. He can build on it.
He is setting this time, but looking at it, the 2 people behind him are in the pits, so he will be safe, he will be through.
Yeah. He'll finish it anyway, I guess, just to see what his ultimate pace is. I think you really want to get through to Q3 just to see how fast you can actually go.
So at the end of this session, we'll be losing King Luckman, AP Marge, both set a time, but unfortunately neither quick enough to see them through in the top 15. ODD Wicken and CDR Hound both crashed out. And Batman Dude did have pace. He would have been around the P3, P4 mark, but he was disqualified for blocking the pit lane.
We're going to be following his progress through race. I think he's going to provide us with some real excitement. He can race.
Pack comes across.
31.8.
31.8.
Look at that though, Saki's quite close to Nerf Pack, so he could have Saki for company through race. Unless, obviously, as Luckman goes out for an outlap. I don't think he's going to make it round in time, but...
Oh no.
He's just trying to get mileage on car. No, he's gonna send me a really nasty message after this race. But yep, so we've lost Batmandu, CDR Elite Hound, as Glacier said, ODD, Wick and AP Marge and King Luckman. So the top 15. Kane Lowry at the top, which is going to be really chuffed with that, but you don't get points for qualifying, and you certainly don't get pole position for being fastest in Q1. So he needs to maintain it. It's all about maintaining it.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be some close battles in Q2 and Q3. You know, your top three
Q1
within
is deceptive.
4 tenths of each other.
Q1 is deceptive in the way that the fastest guys are the ones that hit the ground running. They're not actually necessarily the fastest, it's just they're ones that have been most prepared, or they're ones that have just hit into rhythm really quickly. It's really Q2 and Q3 that you start to see ultimate pace start to shine through, and then we can get an idea of how race is going to pan out. Ooh.
I'm not sure how Luckman's still going here because the session has ended.
Yeah, and he's just made contact with Paranoid as well.
Yeah, well, his car shouldn't still be going round on track. He's crossed the line. It should be over now.
I'll send him a friendly message. Yeah, we see this glitch. We've seen it a handful of times, haven't we, where one car gets to drive round and keep trying. I think we saw it with Drofter. Can't remember what track, but it might have been Silverstone, where it were raining for us and it would dry for Drofter, and it was still letting him go around in sit laps because he'd disconnected and gone out of sync with everyone else.
Yeah, well, I know Luckman did join during the session, so I'm wondering whether that's what's caused it. Hopefully, it's not glitched the lobby.
Yeah, it honestly, it just seems to be sync problems, which on an online game you really shouldn't be able to fall out of sync, but we saw it with Luckman again. F2, we had an incident where he glitched and it cut like 3 seconds out of his lap.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it shouldn't be possible, but...
Well, Collins just commented saying he rejoined late, so it may show that there's more time remaining in the session than there actually is.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
And now we've got the 1 second glitch in Q1.
Yeah, there we go. As soon as he's retired, it's fine. So yeah, Kane Lowry setting early pace. Top 12 drivers just over a second apart. That's not bad at all. But yeah, from Q1 we're losing King Luckman, AP Marge, ODD Wicken, CDR Elite Hound, and Barkmandu.
I think Hound's gonna really want to make amends for that. He's gonna be fuming with himself.
Yeah, I think it was his first lap as well.
He's been
really early.
He's been asking what the right strategy is and stuff like that, so he's aiming for a good result. He seems to get better results in Tier 2 than Tier 3 though, which is an anomaly.
Hard to get a decent result from back there though.
It can happen.
And Barkmandu will be thinking the same. Obviously, he was showing early pace, but, you know, unfortunately, been disqualified for blocking the pit lane.
When you're starting that far down, you do have a moment where you think, do I want to try something really adventurous? You know, i.e. starting on hards or something like that, but it's not really that bad if you're starting in bottom 5, because you've got free tyre choice, and with how these races pan out, I mean, you're bound to get a safety car. That brings you straight back into it. You know, There's going to be people spinning, there's going to be people crashing. All you've got to do is keep it straight, keep it on track, and keep out of trouble, and you're sorted. You guarantee points.
Just on board with T-Bag now as he's the first car out on track. The start of this Q2 session.
I'm chatting to T-Bag quite a lot today. Well, I'll say it as well, guys. I mean, a few people have messaged me asking me my controller wheel settings, camera settings, stuff like that. I'm more than willing to tell you if you want to message me, if you need any advice or anything like that. T-Bag's somebody who has messaged me quite a lot, just asking for settings and advice. So he's going to be looking to take on board what he's been told. He's made some changes to his camera settings. He's made some changes to his controller settings, and I've also given him philosophies to follow as well. So he's going to be looking to follow them and get a pretty decent result. But he's motivated, I can tell. He really does want to. He wants to get best out of his race every week.
Yeah, well, T-Bag's pulled aside and let around 4 cars past him there on the back straight. So I'm just on board with Blue. Blue New Soul will now be the first car to start a flying lap.
He could have done that to get slipstream, which is pretty clever. He's the perfect distance behind Mechanical to get a slipstream. Yeah, no, that's what he's doing. He's basically, I'm on board with him now. Mechanical's warming his tyres. I don't know if you're still on board with T-Bag, but
no, I'm on board with Blue.
He's just behind Mechanical. Mechanical starts warming his tyres, and T-Bag does the same. So I think he's going to be using Colin as a bit of slipstream.
As you mentioned though at the beginning, you know, Sector 1 and Sector 3, you don't really want to be that close. You don't want any dirty air through them twisty sections. So
yeah, 100%.
You know,
it's a science.
What he makes up in Sector 2, he might lose in 1 and 3. So it'll be interesting. As Blue starts his hot lap, he must have forgot to turn his ERS off because he's only got 50% left. He must have used his ERS on his out lap.
It's an easy mistake to make.
I've done it before. I forgot to turn it on altogether.
Yeah, it's even worse when it happens. Yeah. When it happens in Q3, your final lap, and you think, nah. Oh, it's gutting. Nerf Pack's still on his out lap. I think he could get used to seeing his name at top of standings, but needs to earn it first. And he seems to take the first couple of corners. Wow, really nice actually. That were really nice, yeah. Hey, it looked pretty quick as well, so I'm just following Nerf Pack through Sector 1, and he seems to be dialed in. It's probably the best word for it. He's dialed in. He's pretty much hooked up every apex, every braking point, and every gear shift. I don't know if it's a manual, but yeah, that was poetry. So he could be on for a good time here.
I'm still on board with Blue at the moment as he'll be first car, but it looks like he's turned his ERS off now because it's now up to 86% and doesn't seem to be going down.
It's curious that he's decided to qualify straight on the softs as well.
I forgot about the tyre strategies here. It looks like there's only 4 people going for the mediums.
That could... well, that will change the face of the race. I love it. It's like wildfire, isn't it? Like it spreads. You see one person qualifying softs and then everyone starts qualifying on softs, and it's all about who blinks first. As I see Jampot go fastest with a 1:31.6. Blue New Soul sets a 1:35.0, which I don't think can be.
Yeah, he turned
put down to his ERS.
He turned his ERS off halfway around the lap.
But that's not 5 seconds worth. I think he might have made a mistake or.
Yeah, he got the chicane. He lost a lot of time through the chicane on the back straight as Jackie sets a 30.7.
Wow. We're going to see at least 129, I predict.
But it looks like these guys will be committing now to a 2-stop because you don't want to be starting on them softs for a 1-stop.
No.
Unless there's an early safety car, but you can't rely on a safety car.
If I were at bottom 5 right now, the guys that got knocked out in Q, and I'd be looking at this and I'd be thinking, right, start on mediums and do a 1-stop.
As we've lost Saki as well. Saki's crashed coming out of the chicane at the back straight.
Yeah. We're seeing a lot of it, aren't we? We're seeing a fair few spins, it seems.
Ooh. Can't quite see his car.
Jackie takes a lot of curb going into chicane, splitting up those 2 straights. I think it's a Montreal chicane, it's called. Funnily enough.
Just on board with Dylan as he's coming round the last 2 corners to start his first flying lap.
I think it'd have been incredible round this track to see, early 2000s cars, V10s where they're quite narrow, they've got groove tyres and they're sort of on limit everywhere. I feel like this track could have been perfect for those sorts of cars.
Yeah, seeing them go through the twisties in Sector 1 would be really nice, turn
even
1, 2, 3.
Even though these cars are quicker by a long way, it's like watching those old cars that just seem faster. I don't know why, they just seem quicker. Maybe it's engine sound, I don't know, maybe I'm just a hopeless romantic. Seeing brilliant spread through field, that's some serious tight times. First to 8th covered by a second.
And Paranoid, the only one of the top 10 that looks to be starting on the mediums. Unless Dylan jumps up there, let's see what Dylan does.
It's these little decisions that could be a race winner, though, isn't it? It's everyone starts on softs and I'll start on mediums, and then 27 laps later you're taking top step at podium.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Blue New Soul backed out of that lap because he wanted to start on the mediums, because he has gone into the pits and put the mediums on now.
Possibly, yeah, possibly. Maybe he's listening to it stream.
I know
in which case, we need to stop being so biased.
No, he asked in the Ferrari chat earlier about strategy.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea that we had, is team chats. I were against it actually to start with, but yeah, I feel like it's brought people together. As
Dylan sets a 31.4, so it looks like he's committing to starting on the mediums as well. That's a very good sign.
That could keep him safe. You want to aim for like top 7 if you're going to be starting on mediums. You want to be placing in that sort of area.
But that's it. We've got now Kane Lowry going out on mediums, Gainful, Mechanical, and Blue New Soul's got the mediums on. Some of these guys are still just sat in the pits, but it might be difficult for them now to improve the time on a set of mediums when they've set the first lap on softs.
I think we could see a couple of surprises at least. I mean, Ninja, he's gone out on softs, so he's not confident he can get front mediums. Having heard what his pace is, I think he could have done, but it's his call at the end of the day.
Someone who snuck up there while we were talking, also jumping into P2 with the 131.1.
Ooh, shout out to Offso and the AutoZone fans. Is CDR Nikki following along today?
Yeah, Nikki's listening in. She has actually just commented saying she has a feeling that this is your week or so.
It must be bad when your wife supports another driver over you.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You're meant to keep personal bias out of commentary, so yeah. But I just thought I'd make a comment and get into your head a little bit.
No, moving on. Ninja is coming round through Sector 1 on his first lap. It looks like he's starting on the softs as well, and he invalidates.
Over before it started. And it's that purple Sector 1 as well. I'm aching for him to hook it up and just get a good result. You should see it, he's always there, and then he gets a penalty or he spins or...
he's another one similar to Kane Lowry. I was saying that his pace, it shows that he's up there, and then something will happen, whether it's penalties or an incident in the race, and he gets caught out by some bad luck. With Mechanical starting his flying lap on a set of mediums now.
I do feel Ninja could get his first win this season. He's got the pace for it.
And if he's going to do it this season, is definitely a prime chance for him. He's shown some really good pace.
He can't afford to wait for another season because we get different drivers every season. Drivers move up, drivers move down. This could be his best chance to actually become a race winner. Once you get your first one, you get many more after that. It's always the first one that seems to be a tricky one. For some reason.
I wouldn't say so. I got on. My second followed a few races. I've not done anything.
Well, I've not actually had a race winning CDR. And coming into CDR, I was a race winner, so it's been really weird to adjust to finishing top 5 at best. But yeah, I have come close occasionally. And I can tell you that you start to sweat really bad.
Yeah, I think it just goes to show the quality that we've got here in CDR.
Yeah, 100%. The quality of racing here, the quality of drivers, the personalities, the racecraft, everything. It's one of the best racing environments that I've ever been in my life.
Oh, definitely. And like you say, you know, being here from early days, you know, season one, all the way through, you see the progression of these drivers as well.
It makes you proud when you trial them and, you know, we're all over the place or have 80 seconds off at pace and then they come into the first race and been practicing and we're challenging for points. It like, I don't know, you get a feeling that you're getting best out of people. Proud admin moment.
As Mechanical's backed out of this lap, he is still down in P11, so if he doesn't improve, he will be out, and I don't think he's got time to come in and put another set of softs on.
That could be pretty fatal for his qualifying session. It could pull something out at back. I mean, looking at it, I mean, yeah, it could make it happen.
As Ninja goes pole at P1 with a 130.4, but again, 2 laps on them softs, probably more than you want. As Colin goes straight on at the chicane there.
Yeah, Ninja sort of sacrificed a bit of his race potential with that, I'm afraid. Seeing the times that they set on the mediums as well, you can afford to go for 2 flying laps, which is even better. Because your tyres are up to temperature and they're not wearing out as much as the softs.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just looking at the lap times that have been set. So, Jampot, Paranoid, Dylan, and Reggie are currently in the top 10. All their times set with mediums.
Looks like it's pretty good tyre to be on. So Blue New Soul could pull off a shocker here and get into the top 10. That'd be great for him. Just reading out those, like, listening to names you just called out. 3 names that you called out are on this drivers to watch list. It'd be ideal if we could get them sort of spread out all the way across the field and just watch it, because they'll be the moves that are making the race up.
It'd be nice to see them all together next to each other and racing from start to finish. Like,
you get it sometimes where, I mean, especially at this stage of the season, if you remember back to Brazil last season, I believe, final race last season, or second to final race, you got DRS trains and you had like the guys that had been top 5 all championship, you had them sort of following within a few seconds of each other, and it were like, it took a full season for them to converge on that point where they were all literally on the same track at once. And I think that's what you want to see in a race, like best drivers in, say, sort of hashing it out and trying to get upper hand on each other. It's actually a pleasure to be a part of it when you're part of it.
It's going to be close this now, as it looks like Colin's coming out of the pits on a set of softs. It looks like Kane Lowry's out of the pits on a set of softs. I don't know why Kane Lowry's going again.
Colin's going to make it around, but only just. He's having to cut a few corners out. I mean, Kane Lowry he might not feel safe, but I think he is safe in P5. He might be looking at the times that people are setting on softs, and when you see, obviously, you're on a 131.1 and you see Ninja on soft setting a 130.4, you think anyone can do that, so you want to go out and protect yourself, and this is what it is. It's who blinks first, isn't it? It's someone blinks and everyone else blinks and everyone's on softs before you know it.
Jampot was in P10 on the mediums. It looks like he's put softs on and he's gone P2 with a 130.691.
Yeah.
He's committing to them soft tyres. Yeah, looking at it now, you know, it'll be an interesting one for the race start. Definitely will.
It's going to be a crucial first lap. If you keep out of trouble, you're going to be laughing. There's going to be a couple of collisions, I predict. Because it's just nature at first corner. You've got, you know, basically a high-speed chicane for first corner, which it's not ideal when you're starting a race.
So it looks like we're only going to have Kane Lowry set a time. Blue New Soul, see if he can improve. He's coming to the pits. And the last person to cross the line will be Jam Pot, but he's also coming to the pits. So it looks like that is it.
Kane Lowry sets a 130.1 to go. All for Q2, but
top
if
again.
it's his first time on mediums, I'd have just stayed on mediums personally.
Both his times were set on softs.
Right, no problem. I
think he's just asserting his dominance there.
Yeah, Ferrari in it. They all seem to assert dominance.
He was safely through, but he wanted that top spot. Let's see if he can keep it up now. He's top Q1, top Q2. See if he can do it where it matters. End of Q2, we're going to be losing... Oh, I've just lost the list.
Do you know, I could set this job up full time. A good way to spend a Sunday evening, isn't it? Talking about sport you love.
It certainly is. So yeah, at the end of Q2, we're losing Gameful Odds, Mechanical, Teabag, Blue New Soul, and Saki. Saki unfortunately crashing out, no time set. So yeah, these guys now with free tyre choice, it'll be interesting to see whether they still commit to starting on the mediums or whether they change it up to match some of the people ahead. In the top 10, we've got 3 guys that will be starting the race on mediums, which are Reggie, Dylan and Paranoid. So some differing strategies here.
I want to say a big well done to Dylan for getting front mediums. And he could be fighting at sharp end if that strategy plays off for him. He's going to be really happy with that.
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, it's just now about the strategy game, see what happens. You know, early safety car could play into these soft runners' hands.
Oh, it's intriguing. We're getting to sharp end now. The stage is set for Q3.
Who's going to be the first driver on track?
I always enjoy sitting in pits and just watching people leave. You don't really want to set a lap until probably halfway through Q3, come back in, put new tyres on, go out. It lasts like a minute and 45 and...
Looks like Ninja's car's getting ready to come out. There's a lot of movement in his garage. Oh, we've already got Paranoid out on track. Paranoid's first out.
Nerfpack also leaves pits. He's done really well to get into Q3, so he could get some good points for McLaren. We've got 2 McLarens in Q3 actually, so could see a change in fortune for McLaren. I'll read out the constructors' standings so that everyone's got a good idea of where everyone's sat. Because we're getting to the point now where every point makes a difference. So we've got in the constructors after round 10. We've got Ferrari at top on 544 points, followed closely by Haas on 429. Alfa at Mayo on 421, followed by Williams on 398. We've got Alpha Tauri on 386 in 5th place, followed by McLaren on 381, so they could topple Alpha Tauri by the end of this week if they get a good result. Followed by Red Bull on 369, Alpine on 368, which is pretty close, Aston Martin on 339, and Mercedes on 320.
Yeah, very close across, to be honest. Especially with the constructors here that we do at CDR. It's a joint constructors, so your teammates will be the 2 drivers in the same car from Tier 1, Tier 2 and Tier 3. It is a joint constructors, which, one thing I was against it originally, but watching how it's panned out this season, it is brilliant, and it has brought the tiers together a lot more.
Yeah, it's like I said earlier, like same as you, I were against it, but it feels like it gels everyone together. Like you're trading strategy information and setup information and stuff like that. You're talking to people that you might not otherwise talk to.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Good. It's good to see.
And that's it. It's all about helping people improve as well. We want to see the best racing we can here, and if we can help people improve pace, improve strategy, then brilliant.
See, Nerfpack seems to have got that Sector 1 pretty nailed. He must have been practicing it quite a lot. He's got a Mercedes following him, which could be... Is it Ninja, possibly? Yeah, so he's got Ninja following him.
I'm just going to read a comment out here for you, Josh. It's from Teabag, saying, first time not in Q3 this season. He blames Hamster for his dodgy settings.
You ungrateful bugger. I'm blocking you. Don't blame it on the settings, blame it on the pace.
As Paranoid spun, he clipped the inside curb in sector 3.
Oh, he's going to be pushing. He's going to be under pressure now.
Kane Lowry gets past him, he'll be the first to set a lap now.
When you're in Paranoid shoes, when you know you've got the pace to challenge for race wins and you make a mistake, you sort of feel it a bit more. It winds you up.
Kane Lowry comes across the line, a 1:30 flat. That's the fastest time so far. He's setting the bar early.
He's got genuine pace. Has he took a race win yet, Kane Lowry?
No, he hasn't. He hasn't. He's been very close on occasions, but unfortunately, he's not took a win yet.
You can only imagine the feelings that are going through him at the minute.
I remember he was up there, I'm sure he was leading, I think it was Mexico last season, and then the weather changed, and he was trying to stay out on the dry tyres because the wet weather came so late in the race. Unfortunately, he had to pit, but, you know, he'd pitted too late, so...
You get sort of backed into a corner in that position, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you pit, do you not pit? And you leave it too late and inevitably pit.
Dylan now comes across the line, his first lap, puts in P2 with a 1:30.7. Not a bad time. Oh, Jackie. At 1:30.1.
We're going to see a very close finish to qualifying if these times keep stacking up like this. Kane Lowry is going to have something to protect. I'll be riding on board with him for his final lap. So,
and Reggie's come through with a 1:30.6. Up into P3, so yeah, very close here. You know, that time Kane Lowry set, with it being the fastest all weekend, I wondered whether that'd be the you know, no one would get close to it, but Jackie out of nowhere has pulled a 1:30.1. Brilliant time.
Could see it hit the 129s. I predicted a 129, at least one of them anyway, this race, and I feel like we could reach it. Track Evolution is going to take us. Paranoid's going to be aiming for it. I reckon we could see Carl Trim get into 129s as well.
Yeah, also unfortunately. Oh, he's just improved. He's gone up to P5. I was on board with Carl as he was starting a flying lap, but he's just spun out of turn 2.
Oh, unlucky Carl. We're seeing first runs pretty much ending now anyway, so top 7 are coming back into pits. We've got bottom 3 that are still yet to set a lap, so they're out of sync. But if we get round 8 quickly and then get back into pits, swap tyres, under fuel them and go out again, they'll be fine.
Well, Paranoid did have a spin, and straight after the spin he came back into the pits. He's on his out lap at the moment. He's just coming through the last corner now.
I wonder if he maybe picked up damage or just wanted fresher tyres maybe, but your first run in Q3, it's just a banker lap really, isn't it? So you just want to get a time on board so you're not under pressure for your final run.
Yeah, if that's a banker lap from some of them lads up there, Kane Lowry, Jackie, Reggie, Dylan as well, and Osso, to be honest. Osso's not far, 5,000 behind Dylan.
I've just been riding on board with Paranoid, and how he didn't invalidate going through the first couple of corners then by skin of his teeth. I mean, he had all 4 wheels off at track, but
he's on the limit.
He's set a purple sector 1, so yeah, he's definitely on limit. He's going to be wanting to set that pole position off of Kane Lowry, so it's going to get quite fiery. If he qualifies in top 3, we could see a pretty nifty race on our hands. So
the thing is, I think this may be Paranoid's only shot at it, because I don't think he's going to have time to come back in to change tyres or anything to go again.
No.
So these tyres that he's on will be it for him.
He might just be able to sneak through, possibly, but might have to be some dodgy corner cutting going on,
which we don't like to see.
No, it's not ideal. Not ideal at all.
The dark arts. He's coming through now. Final 2 corners. He keeps a good line through there. Last corner. Oh, right on the edge.
it looked to me, it looked like he held back a little bit. He might have braked a bit earlier and just gone for apex a bit earlier, but he goes P6 anyway, so
A 130.8. So again, you know, top 7 here within a second.
He's going to have to push flat out to get back to pits and get back out for his final run. He's not going to be satisfied with P6.
No, we've got Jam Pot now. He's on a hot lap as well, coming through sector 3.
Just ride on board with him and see how he does. Seems to have nailed his braking quite well for that corner. Probably the trickiest corner on track, but actually to get your braking right and get your line right.
Yeah, because you touch that curb, and you're gone. As Paranoid found on his first flying lap.
It's brake bias as well. If you've got it set too far to the rear, which is ideally what you want around this track, you want it a bit further to the rear, 54, 55. If you've got it set too far back and you slam on brakes, you're just going round, you're spinning, whether you've got ABS on or not.
As Jam Pot
goes P4.
P4, 130.7. Brilliant time. As Carl's still out on track, he is about to cross the line. And a 131.7, so unfortunately just P9 for Carl.
I don't think he's going to get back in time, is he?
I don't think so, but we've got some of these guys now coming out for the second run. Reggie, Dylan, Osso, all on their out laps.
This is where fireworks happen. Kane Lowry needs to get back out and make certain that he's going to get pole position.
Ninja's on a flying lap, he's about to cross the line. A 130.1, that puts him P2.
Wowzers.
Oh, it's going to be close, this one.
Yeah, I think that were his final lap as well, so if he can hold P2 from that, he's going to be really happy with that. Jackie doesn't seem to be. In fact, we've got maybe 10 seconds before we need to leave pits.
Yeah, so, Jackie's retired, he's happy with what he's done.
Right then, wow. I feel like he could have toppled Ninja at least. Maybe even had a shot at Kane Lowry if he'd have gone out. In track evolution, it's massive.
And that's it, I'm on board with Reggie now as he's just coming onto the back straight. He's going for that pole.
Yeah, without a doubt, you need to. Whether you feel like you've got a shot or not, you still put everything out on track and just see where you end up.
As Kane Lowry is now coming out on his out lap.
Ooh, I think he might have left it too late. He might not have done well.
As Reggie's 900th in the green at the end of sector 2.
Wow. Oh,
he's really wide.
He's blew his lap. Unlucky. Yeah, he's backed off.
He's going to have one more go at it though. Who's that just behind him? Dylan, who's invalidated.
Everyone got such stream of Dylan. Really?
Yeah, Dylan and Reggie both going to give it another shot. Who else have we got? We've got Osso. He's also invalidated. I think he might. Osso will make it. I don't know whether Kane Lowry will make it, you know.
I think he might have maybe 5 seconds left to spare, possibly if he's lucky.
It's going to be close.
It's going to be very close. I watched him going through the first couple of corners and I think timing we're on maybe 125. This is going to be... He's not going to make it.
Yeah, looking at Paranoid as well, he's on an out lap. I don't think he's going to make it either.
Left it slightly too late. Yeah, unlucky Kane Lowry. I mean, we wait to see what Reggie, Dylan and Osso can do. Because they're only guys really that can take his pole away from him, so he might have just got lucky there.
Reggie's invalidated. Dylan is a 10th under at sector 2. Oh, sorry, at sector 1. His sector 2 time is 4 tenths under. Dylan set a purple sector 2 here.
He could cause an upset. I know Kane Lowry will be incredibly frustrated if he loses his pole position.
This is going to be close. It's going to be mighty close.
Ninja starts P2 provisionally, so he didn't improve, but he'll be really happy with that. He could take lead actually going into the first corner.
As Dylan's now coming round the last corner, onto the straight, on the power. DRS open, he crosses the line. P4, 130.4, as we've got Osso as well, who's still on a lap at the moment. He's the only one who can improve. What can Osso do?
Very
Come on,
lucky to get
Osso, all
away
the
with
fans are
invalidation.
watching. Nice and smooth out the last corner. Opened his VRS quite a bit late though.
Where did he finish? P7, I believe. Just wait to see for timing screens to pop up and show us, but I believe it's P7. Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So we've got Kane Lowry on pole, followed by Ninja and Jackie. Dylan, P4. Third row, we've got Reggie and Jampot, followed by Osso and Paranoid. And bringing up the rear of Q1 is Carl and Nerf Pack.
Now that's top 10 that I didn't predict. That's pretty topsy-turvy top 10. We could see a pretty intriguing race, actually. I'm really excited for it. We're going to see some moves being made, definitely, because there's a lot of people that are quite out of position down at back of grid.
Osso's just commented he lost 2/10 out of the last corner.
Yeah. He did seem to struggle a little bit through third sector. I mean, he got away by the skin of his teeth with invalidation, because he went fairly wide going into the final 4 corners.
I'll be back in just a minute, bud.
Yep, no problem. So we're ready at race start now, just waiting for everyone to make final checks and ready up to get underway on the formation lap. 27 laps, we could see 2 different strategies. A one stop is the most viable, but a lot of people started on soft, so I mean, bottom 5 if they start on mediums or even the hards, which not ideal, but it could work. They could do a one stop, which is definitely the preferred strategy, but a 2-stop seems to be the general consensus in the top 10. So we could see 2 different races going on, and it's going to be quite interesting to see how it pans out, actually. So drivers to watch, I've just made in no particular order. We've got Paranoid, Reggie, Jampot, Mechanical, Caltrim and Kane Lowry. They just seem to be making the most progress in the championship at this point. Seems to be guys that are delivering quite well. Other than that, not much more really to comment on, but yeah, I'm quite excited for this race, and I know Clay's quite excited for it. I think we're going to see some interesting moves and some pretty cool things play out, so I've been waiting for it all day. As I said before, it's a short pit lane, so you could see an undercut happen, and I think a few people will be thinking about that. We saw it in real life, undercut happened. As we get away on the formation lap, of course Clay's lead commentator, so I'm not sure what car he's riding on board with. It'll be Kane Lowry presumably, but you don't want to be wearing your tyres out too much on formation lap. Ideally, you just want to warm them up, and if you warm them too much, it can take a bit of life out of them. Soft tyres as well. It's a very abrasive track surface, so you really do want to look after them. And that's why I personally believe guys on mediums have got the upper hand this race. Tier 1 and Tier 2, I can't comment on the Tier 2 race, but Tier 1, I think we saw a fair amount of position changes, and yeah, so Kane Lowry's on softs, Ninja's on softs, Jackie's on softs, Dylan's on mediums, Reggie's on mediums, so only 3 cars in the top 10, and Gamefull's picked the hard tyres.
Yeah, some interesting strategies here. Gamefull, Blue, Saki, Hound and Batman do all opting to start on the hards. ODD Wiccan still starting on softs even though he's in P18. He'll be hoping to make a few places up early.
The predicted stop strategy just came up, and it predicted a 2-stop for both.
Right.
So I think it's going to be quite ballsy if you actually attempt to 1-stop, because presumably everyone has had the 2-stop recommended to them in the tyre strategy screen. So yeah,
it'll be interesting to see what the people go for.
I've just been saying it's an abrasive track surface, so on this formation lap, you don't want to warm your tyres up too much because you'll just take life out of them. Starting on soft, there's no other way to put it. You're screwed. You can't defend against guys on mediums if you're starting on top 10.
Well, I noticed as well, even under a safety car, you're still adding more percentage on your tyre wear than you would at most other tracks.
Yeah.
As the guys are coming round now to form up the grid.
Here we go. I'll let Clay take the race start.
With no pressure.
Just use the wise words of Crofty. And try not to cringe while you do it. We're seeing cars form up now. Final few cars come in. Keep an eye on Bartmandu, so he's going to be coming through. Elite Hound, he's going to want to make some progress. And Mechanical's out of position in P12 as well, starting on mediums. Gameful could make up some places based on tyre strategy. Here we go. Over to you.
I can't see the lights. All the lights are on. Away we go. As ODD Wicken's got a jump start. That's not a good start at all. A drive through.
His race has already took a downward turn already. We've not even took off really yet.
Kane Lowry makes it cleanly through turn 1.
Right on board. We're going to see how he maintains his lead. Yeah, he seems to be in control of it. Just since race weekend sort of thing, he's been in control of it. So.
Just on board with Gameful here. Starting on the hard tyres, he's made 3 places up off the start. Brilliant start from Gameful.
He could be one to watch. He weren't too happy with his pace, I don't think, in practice, but he could make it happen on strategy. This is going for Osso, and he gets the overtake them quite easily going into the chicane.
Yeah. Also on the soft tyres as well. I didn't expect that.
And Gameful's going to be laughing at this point. He's made up 4 positions on the slower tyre.
As Ninja's dropped to P3. I don't know if he's had an incident there. Look, he's side by side. He's been spun.
Spun out by Dylan, I believe. Yeah, that just looked like he got squeezed a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah, it looked like he wasn't. He looked like he wasn't willing to sacrifice any space there. Tried to commit to the inside, and he spun again. His tyres are cooked.
Yeah. So that's a nightmare for Ninja. Not even the end of lap 1. He had the pace to maybe challenge for a race win, but he's got it all to do now.
Yeah, as Gameful obviously picking up an extra place there. Kane Lowry's now already out of the DRS zone, just dominating, leading from the front.
But we could see tyre strategy. Gameful's in the hot seat.
Oh, as Dylan's just spun as well.
Gameful up to P5. Wow, a super first lap for Gameful.
Dylan spun out at turn 2. That's unfortunate now as he's dropped all the way down to P17 from P3.
So already pace of the race has sort of changed, hasn't it? Like a few people who thought it'd be challenging have just disappeared, and people we didn't really expect to be challenging were already up into the top 10.
Well, that's it. Your front 3 now are quite spread out. Each one out of DRS zone, as Paranoid's now just falling out of DRS on Jampot as well. Oh, he's back in it now.
Gameful seems to be sticking with Paranoid, and Paranoid's up mediums as well. If Gameful can keep this pace up, you know, he's only 4 or 5 seconds behind first place on the slowest tyre.
Yeah, brilliant start from Gameful.
That bodes very well. It's just all about managing it now and just making sure you pit right. You're on a 1-stop. If you start on hards or mediums, you're pretty much on a 1-stop unless you get a safety car. So.
As ODD Wickham picks up his first 3-second penalty, the first of the day, to go with his drive-through, so definitely not the start he wanted.
Not at all. Ideal, is it?
I think he has just dived into the pits, yeah.
You're better off, he's got to. But that's... I don't want to say it's his race over on lap 3, but... You're getting a pit stop. He's only really going to have Ninja for company. Ninja's gone into pits and switched it hard, so he's anticipating there to be no safety cars, and he's going to try and catch up in the pit stops.
Just before Wickham dived into the pits, he was battling Osso, which has actually dropped Osso. He's now 2 seconds behind Gameful.
P6.
So Gameful now getting into the DRS zone on Paranoid.
It's something that we didn't quite expect to see.
And we've got a Red Bull spun at turn 2. That'll be Wickham straight out of the pits after his drive-through.
Yeah. So he's on soft tyres still. Yeah, it's not ideal.
I'm not sure if Kane Lowry's had a moment, but Jackie's caught him by almost a second this lap.
Right on board with Jackie. I think Jackie's another one that's still yet to get his first win, but I can't confirm that off the top of my head.
It looks like King Luckman's spun as well out of the chicane.
Like when you've got a podium made up of people that have never had a race win and they're all quite close together, you know for a fact that all three of them have got adrenaline pumping and that you're going to see some pretty feisty racing. Then we've got Jampot, he took his first race win, not without controversy. I think it was decided after the race, so he's already got the upper hand on Jackie and Kane Lowry. Jampot's not been with us that long actually, but he's already made his mark on the league. He's done a bit of commentary for Tier 1 as well, and by all accounts did a tremendous job. And he's currently in P3, not too far behind. It is lap 4, but he could make it happen. If he plays it clever on strategy, I believe he could at least jump up to P2.
We've lost someone else. Carl, it looks like Carl Trim's spun as well out of turn 2.
One of these noteworthy drivers to go. This list that I've made before the race, it's just gone up in the air because these drivers, a couple of them haven't even qualified in position and they're spinning, so...
Kane Lowry defending down the back straight here as Jackie's got his DRS open. He keeps him behind as T-Bag jumps above. Nerf Pack and Mechanical jumps above also.
Yeah, but it's quite close still, teammates as well, so I don't know if they've got any team orders going on where, you know, fastest car gets preference, but yeah.
Well, also on the soft tyre, Mechanical on the mediums, so I wonder if these softs are starting to fade a little bit now.
Yeah, lap 4 they'll be
obviously
to fade.
Depending on how many laps they did in Q2 on them as well.
Look at Gameful though, Gameful's within a second of Paranoid. So maybe the mediums are starting to show, you know, touch of degradation as well, because these hard tyres seem to be...
As Jampot's in the pit.
Yeah, already. He's trying something different. He's quite sure what tyres he's going on to. Yeah, I'll let you know. He's going on to the hard tyres. Right then.
It's an early pit stop. As Kane Lowry's now pulled away from Jackie, he must have made a mistake.
Yeah, Jackie had DRS as well, so he should have really maintained that gap. But Gameful, I know we've gone on about Gameful quite a lot this race already, but he's maintaining that gap, like he's sticking. He was within DRS range, he was dropping back a little bit, but he seems to be consistently pumping in these laps. He's up to P4 from P11, so the biggest winner in this first 5 laps has definitely got to be Gameful.
Yeah, Mechanical behind him as well. Obviously, there is, you know, he is nearly 4 seconds behind Gameful. Not quite worked out as well for him, but, you know, still up 7 positions.
Yeah.
Batman up into P10 as well.
So he's one of them that we predicted to be making moves. He started on hards, and strangely enough, it seems like the hard tyre is actually the preferable tyre around here, which I'm going to make a note of for next season. I'm
just watching T-Bag now as he's all over the back of Osso. Also on the softs, they must be going now.
Yeah, definitely. He's going to be struggling. He wants to be thinking about making a pit stop. I can't recall what lap it said that you want to be pitting. I think it's maybe lap 9 possibly for your first stop. But I honestly couldn't tell you. So also pits. We were saying he was struggling with his soft tyres and he felt it as well.
Yeah, definitely.
But this early on, I think he's going to be picking hard. I'm going to ride on board with him in pit lane and take on roll at Ted Kravitz, and it looks like he's actually going on to medium tyres. So is he committed to a 2-stop?
Oh, Paranoid picks up a 3-second penalty.
Ooh.
And ODD Wicken picks up his second 3-second penalty. And Hound picks one up as well. He must have felt left out. But no, Hound's not having a bad start, to be honest, up 7 places into P12.
Yep, he's kept out of trouble as well. Yeah, he's picked a penalty up, but he's maintained his front wing. No side pod damage or floor damage. So, you know, sky's the limit for him now. He could do something clever. He's on hard tyres as well, so... Yeah, this is going to be a really intriguing race as it plays out. It's already quite interesting.
Yeah, just on board with T-Bag. He's getting on mechanical now.
Same size as well, so maybe he's just got the outright pace over him. Is he within the RS range going into the third sector? Or midway through, rather. Maybe mechanical, he might have had a moment, possibly, or... Yeah, we're on the same size, so...
As Jackie's pitted. Jackie's trying to do the undercut on Kane Lowry here.
Could work. If Kane Lowry pits next like that, he's got to react to it. So those soft tyres, they ain't getting any quicker.
As we've got Batmandu, Saki, Blue New Soul, all very close together.
Elite Hound's trying to get into that little thing as well. He's battling with Reggie, teammates as well, so...
I think Reggie's just come out of the pits.
Yeah, so Elite's Hound's just gone, I think, round his outside going into turn 1, and this is turning to inside for turn 2. Good move.
Reggie hasn't pitted yet, sorry. He's on 6-lap old mediums to Hound's 6-lap old hards. But Gameful now in a podium position.
That's incredible.
On the hard tyre.
He's making it happen. And obviously Paranoid's got a penalty. He's got the slower tyres, or faster tyres, but wear out quicker. Gameful could be looking at a P2 here.
As Saki takes Blue New Soul. Just after Batmandu did as well. So Blue New Soul just losing 2 positions on the back straight there.
Unlucky. We're getting to the point now where we're starting to see tyre strategy come into it. People are pitting, coming back out on different tyres, newer tyres.
As Kane Lowry's now into the pits.
So he's reacted to Paranoid then. No, Paranoid? It wasn't Paranoid, was it? Who was it that came in from second place? The name's escaping me. I'm sure I'll remember. But yeah, so he's reacted to everyone, obviously pitted behind him. So
Jackie. But Jackie put the mediums on, Kane Lowry's gone to the hard.
Right, so he's going for 1 stop. I think Jackie's going for 2 stop, and it's going to be very close between him, and he's coming out in front of Jackie, but it was close. Luckman's between him and Jackie now. Probably not where he wants to be, I know for a fact he'll be panicking, but Jackie's going for a move up inside and Luckman going into the chicane, so...
This is it now though, this is different strategies. Oh, bit of contact there, Jackie nearly loses it. And commits to take that position back. A bit of rubbing there, bit of elbows out.
Yeah, that was a bit argy-bargy, wasn't it really? But he needs, I mean, I'm not agreeing with what he was doing, but he does need to start making progress if he wants to pick up some pace, because he's dropped back from Kane Lowry after that first pit stop.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Jackie putting the mediums on, he needs to make these work now because he's committing to a 2-stop.
Yeah, 100%. You need to really make them work.
There's now everyone on track is on either the mediums or the hards.
Preferable tyre to be on.
Kane Lowry's all over the back of Hound here.
So he's going to be picking up the RS as well, so that's going to help him even more to get away from Jackie. It's going to slow him while he's behind Hound, but he's going to get past him on this straight. Look how much Jackie's picked up on him there.
He's caught him, over half a second.
And going into this lap as well, he was 1.5 behind, so he's caught him by 9/10 of a second, and he's right up his backside now, right up his exhaust. He's going to have the RS as well, so what I just said earlier, it don't apply no more. This is going to be very feisty, and Kane Lowry needs to get past down very quickly to maintain his chance at a race win. And
Jackie goes round the outside.
He's off the track. Is that a legal move? Does he have to give it back? Doesn't look like it.
It doesn't look like it. He'd have already give it back by now, I think.
So that looks like
out of nowhere.
Yeah, the net race lead.
That's one for the highlight reel, that.
Oh yeah, that were an overtake at week sort of thing. I'd be happy with that for race lead as well. And here he goes, fairly academic moving lines.
Costing Kane Lowry now on them hards. You'd have thought they'd have been better than Steve's 8-lap old hards. As it looks. Oh, Steve's gone deep. I'm not sure if he had contact with King Luckman then as well.
I think maybe he tried to let Kane Lowry through because it did seem like he jumped out that way, but we do have to remember Kane Lowry and Jackie are on different tyres, so...
As ODD Wickens spun out of turn 2 again, he's having a torrid time here.
Yeah, nightmare of a race. You just want Will to swallow you up, don't you, when you have a race like that?
But Gameful still not too far behind Paranoid on the hard tyre. King Lutman's battling back at Hound, and Jampot's now catching up. As ODD Wickens crashed out onto the back straight.
Oh.
His bad days got worse.
Yep, so his race is over.
It'll be interesting to see whether we get a safety car, because it looks like his car is in the middle of the track. As Paranoid's coming through, he'll be the first car through.
We saw it in Tier 1, we had a car crashing pretty much an identical place, and we didn't get a safety car out.
His car's disappeared. Yeah, I know our race on Friday. There was a crash as I came round that corner. I think it was Gameful was on his side, just sliding across track. And a safety car came out for that. As Lutman's now pitted and put the hards on as well. Teabag has now just got past Mechanical. Teabag up into P3.
That advice is clearly working for him. Just told him to keep going forward. And I'm going to rub it in his face after the race, but moving on, Gameful odds up into P2, which I don't think he's got a race win yet either, has he?
I think he did. I think he picked one up either early this season or last season, towards the end of last season.
It's a rare occurrence for him, and I mean that, with no disrespect, it's obviously...
I'm not sure if...
his library of race wins, isn't he?
I'm not sure if Gameful's win was the Mexico race that Kane Lowry ended up losing the lead. In tricky conditions. I think if I remember rightly, Gameful came out on the wet tyres and he had to make up like 8 seconds on the last lap, and he did it.
Crazy how many races we've had now, 3 seasons worth. Well, 3.5. And the OG guys were here for Monaco season 1, you'll remember what I'm talking about.
It looks like we've got a bit of a train forming here behind Blue New Soul as Mechanical picks up a penalty.
Ooh. Not ideal, and he's still needs to hit as well, I think.
He does. He's on the mediums he started on.
But we're seeing that the medium tyres have been by far the more diverse tyre, the more flexible tyre. The majority of guys that are up in top 10 now started on either the mediums or the hards.
Well, Jackie's now caught this DRS train behind Blue New Soul, which has helped Kane Lowry pull him back in.
Yeah, and like we said before, Kane Lowry is on slower tyres, so all he needs to do is stick with him.
Yeah, and knowing that Jackie's got a pit again as well.
Oh, Jackie got a bit messy out of that chicane. Kane Lowry's really up his exhaust pipe now. Could be seeing a move soon. Riding on board with him. He's just waiting, he's lying in wait.
Is that contact by Bark and Reggie there?
Possibly, yeah. It did look like one of the cars, one of the lines sort of got disturbed, so...
Yeah, Jackie's just picked up the pieces there and jumped in front of Bartmandu. As Dylan now pulls into the pits and picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. As Reggie pits as well.
Whoever said that Formula 1 cars can't follow closer, this is tremendous.
Jackie's knowing he needs to get going. He needs to gap Kane Lowry here.
And he's got Blue New Soul in the Ferrari, right? And he's got a Ferrari behind him in Kane Lowry, so this Blue New Soul maybe backing him up a little bit, possibly. It don't look like it, but he's got that possibility if he wants to do it to help out his team.
Well, that's it. He's started on the hards. I think he's just focusing on trying to get round, to be honest. Kane Lowry behind Bark, who also started on the hards, so you'd expect both of them to get past these two guys now with a bit of ease.
100%. Kane Lowry,
as Jackie's just got past Blue New Soul, and Kane Lowry's got past Bark.
Bartman do let Kane Lowry through. I think they're in a party chat. They're both friends, aren't they? So yeah, that were a fairly orchestrated move. No, I'm not going to frown upon it. End of the day, if you trying to help your mate out, he's trying to help your mate out. He's looking at a race when it end of the day.
Not just that, Bark obviously starting on these hards, you know, he knows he's got another pit stop to make as Paranoid pulls into the pits, which means we're going to have a new leader.
Ooh, game full odds from 11th place.
As
leads the race.
I think Teabag. No, sorry, ignore me. I thought he'd gone off track, he's not. Mechanical had pulled into the pits. It looks like Mechanical's trying to get the undercut on him.
I'm not biased, but seeing Teabag get a good result, just seeing him Luckman get a good result, you know, people that you've actually tried to help out a little bit, seeing them get a good result, you feel really proud of them. So Teabag's really doing business at the minute, making it happen. It's up at the P2, up 11 places.
Well, that's it. You've got, at the moment, Jacket has made one pit stop. Now, I don't think his mediums will go to the end unless, you know, there's a couple of safety cars. Anything could happen yet. Kane Lowry still looking in prime position, really, on the hards. Everyone other than them in the top 5 needs to pit again. So it'll be interesting to see how it pans out in the latter stages of the race.
It's going to be incredibly intriguing. I mean, we did this track last season as well when we did our first commentaries together, and I remember that race was a pretty interesting race as well, but this race seems to be a touch more interesting than that one.
Yeah, I think the different strategies. I like, you know, I know the tyre wears high, but I'm sure it weren't this high last time we raced here.
No, I think it was 2020 game, wasn't it, that we commentated over?
I can't remember.
I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was 2020 because it was towards the end of the season, and then obviously we did.
Teabag's now pitted. Be interesting to see where he comes out now in respect to Mechanical, because I know Colin was around half a second behind him, so let's see if the undercuts worked here for Colin.
I'm on board with him. He's not really made a lot of noise, has he, this race? He's found a lot of pace. Don't get me wrong, he's really coming into his own at the minute, and he's definitely going to pick up his first race win sometime soon. Ooh.
Oh, as Teabag comes out just ahead of him, that is close.
Jumped him. And his Mechanical already made a stop, did you say?
Yeah, he pitted the lap before. It looked like he went for the undercut. It's unfortunately not paired off, but he will have more heat in them tyres than Teabag. It'll take a lap or two to get them working.
They'll be worn in, so he's challenging here. We're going to see some defence, but if I were Teabag, I'd just be letting him go and try and stick with him while your tyres warm up.
Paranoid's pitted now. He's come out in P6 as well on the hards.
Mechanical's on 6% DRS. Is he going to have enough to get it done? The Battle of the Collins. Oh, and Mechanical spins. Oh, doing nothing in it, but just one of those things where
that door was always closing there. Yeah, I know. I remember racing here season 1, and someone did a similar move on me. Unfortunately, it was me that spun that time, but yeah, it's a very difficult position. You want to get the move done before the braking zone there.
We were a driver that did it when we raced here last season that ended up obviously getting penalised for it. Obviously did it to me. It's so touch and go when you're racing that quick through that chicane. You know, slightest bit of contact, you're round. And the Mechanicals really come up worse there.
Kane Lowry's just set the fastest lap on the hard tyre.
I'm looking at Gameful though. I mean, how many laps has he done? 14 laps on these hard tyres, and Saki's done the same amount, and he's 9 seconds behind him. Yeah,
I'm just looking at the gap to the leader though. How long's the pit stop here? Is it around 20 seconds?
I'm not 100% sure, but it is a shorter pit lane.
Well, if it's 20 seconds, we'll put Gameful around Bartman doing P8.
I'm looking at tyres that they're already on.
If it's shorter than that, he might be in a better position.
If he pits now, and he joins round about P8, and he goes on to maybe mediums, or if he maybe drags his hards out and then goes on to the softs, he could really set the track alight and into the final stint. Because he's controlled this race so far, whether he's been in first or fifth, I don't know, he seems to control it, hasn't he?
Dan asking for an update on penalties there. So penalties, we've got Saki on 3 seconds, Paranoid and Osso both on 3. Dylan on 8 seconds, I think he picked up a 5-second speeding in the pit lane. Mechanical Reggie Caltrim on 3 seconds. King Lutman on 9 seconds. And then Ninja and Hound both on 3 seconds. I'm not too sure what's happened to Hound because he's now in last. It looks like he's made his pit stop for the mediums.
Yeah, but he shouldn't have gone all the way back down to last.
As Saki and Blue New Soul are both pitted now off the hards. So Gameful's still pulling away here. Oh no, sorry, that's because Saki's now pitted. The gap now from Gameful to Jackie in P2 is 11 seconds.
If I were Gameful, I'd be pitting this lap. Because, you know, you're not going to maintain lead when you're going to pits, but you need to maintain best position you can, so pit at the end of this lap.
Yeah, well, and that's it. Saki's dropped from P2 to P10.
I really hope he gets the result, just based on, obviously, how hard he's fought for it this race. Did something different and it's paying off for him so far, but Kane Lowry and Jackie are still quite close together, so...
Yeah, Kane Lowry now in DRS. It looks like he wasn't in it at the detection zone, but Kane Lowry in prime position here for a win.
Yeah.
Knowing Jackie's got another 11 laps on their mediums, I don't think they'll make it to the end, or if they do, you know, they'll be screaming them tyres.
Oh yeah, 100%. This is going to be a scintillating finish.
As Gameful's now in the pits.
And Dylan picks up a penalty for 3 seconds for track limits. Jackie goes into the pit, so Kane Lowry inherits the second place, net lead. And I'll ride on board with Jackie in pits to see what tyres he's switched onto, but I'd expect him to be switching onto softs at this point.
If he started on softs, mediums. I think he'd probably go mediums again, yeah. 10 laps left.
Yeah, fair enough, yeah. Personally, I'd have picked softs and just seen where you ended up, but when you are fighting for a race win...
That has helped Gameful as well, actually. He's not lost too many positions now. Come out in P5. As Barkmandu's pitted again. Oh, sorry, Bark started on the hards, didn't he? So he's pitted at the same time as Gameful.
So he's following off, and he's not too far behind. And the Jampot, he's on 12 lap old hards, so Gameful could be up for a podium position here.
Yeah, it's going to be close. And like we say, you know, Osso's done 11 laps on their mediums. There's another 10 left. I don't think they'll go to the end.
Look at Paranoid and Kane Lowry. Paranoid's on 5 lap fresher hards, but he's got a penalty as well. So I don't think we're going to know how this race is going to end until we really do cross the line. They're best kind of races.
Definitely. His AP Mar just took his softs off now, put a set of mediums on. As Ninja has crashed out on the back straight. I'll jump on board with Hound as he's just coming through that sector.
Virtual safety car.
VSC. Oh, that I tell you what, that'll be gutting for, you know, Gameful, who's just made his stop. You know, Jackie who pitted, Blue New Soul who pitted, all the lads who just pitted last lap. That'll be very disappointing.
I mean, we've got 10 laps left, so we could see...
As Osso's deciding to do his pit under the VSC.
Clever bit of driving, Dylan does the same. So has to get some newer tyres.
As Blue New Soul picks up a drive through for speeding under the VSC. He must have been caught out as it's gone green.
Yeah.
Very tricky on this game. Very tricky. Especially with how the delta goes back and forth. Osso comes out in P11. He will inherit P10 once Blue serves his drive through.
Jackie's pushing. Needs to push to make up that P2 again that he's lost. But...
Jackie did also pick up a 3-second penalty.
Yeah, so it's going to be a struggle for him now, actually. It's a shame. But we've seen this race pretty much turned on its head.
Yeah, definitely. But Gameful now in P4, 3.1 seconds behind Jampot, who's got a 3-second penalty.
Yeah, he's on 13 lap old tyres and Gameful's on one lap old mediums. So he's going to have pace. You can't call it, can you?
Definitely not. The gap, see that I'm looking at the gap now. Paranoid's caught Kane Lowry by like 9 tenths in the last lap.
I don't think Jackie can get up into P5 at least.
Just jump on board with Reggie, as that's the closest battle on track at the moment.
Yeah, let's take a look. So we've got Mechanical in front of him. It just seems like it's been a bit of an off race, hasn't it, for Mechanical? He's not been where he wanted to be, but he did say he was struggling in practice. We all have him.
He wasn't doing too bad though, you know, he would have been, what, P6, him and T-Bag were pretty much side by side for the first stint.
Yeah, it's a shame. We might see a report from it. I mean, I'd expect to see a report from it, but personally, I haven't watched it. I feel like it will just start racing. That's what stewards are for, though, so we'll wait and see the outcome of that. But moving back onto the track battle, Reg is still within DRS range of Mechanical. They've both got penalties. Let's take a look what penalties they've got.
As Blue's just served his drive through, I think. He's now dropped to 15th.
Could see a move on Mechanical here from Reggie. Ooh, maybe not actually, he's not quite close enough. Mechanical's on 5% ERS and running out pretty quickly.
Yeah, Reggie's not using his around 25%. He didn't use any of it on that back straight though.
He's grooming him for a move in the next couple of laps. Pretty much nailed on as long as he keeps it on track.
Gameful now.
Really close
yeah, now within a second of jam pot.
And 2 laps and he's caught up. What were it? 2.5 or 4.5 seconds. He's caught up very quickly.
It was over 3 seconds because that's when we pointed out that jam pot had a 3-second penalty.
So you don't want to be rushing this move. You just want to, you know it's going to happen, so you just let it happen naturally. Jam pot defends as you do, but there's not a lot you can do. Everything stats against you. Just hold on as best you can. Gameful up into P3 from P11. Tremendous. He deserves this. He deserves it based on his ballsy strategy.
Yeah, definitely. Made the moves early as well, when he probably wasn't expecting to, you know, making up quite a few positions in the early laps.
Yeah. Kane Lowry starting to stretch his legs a bit. He's pulling away from Paranoid. Paranoid, ideally, he'd need to pass him in the next couple of laps to try and pull out a 3-second gap on him.
Well, this would be interesting to see now whether Gameful can gain on Paranoid. You know, if he makes up 2 seconds on him here, he's going to be in that 3-second window.
Oh, yeah. I'm just having a look now. I'm going to have a look to see if Kane Lowry actually has had a race with me before, but so we can call it properly at end of race, because it's going to have to be some serious congratulations for him. He's just had pace, hasn't he? All the way through.
Yeah, literally from, you know, his first lap in Q1 all the way through, setting the bar high.
When you come into it and you're already setting pace, you sort of feel like it's yours to win anyway, so confidence, it's at least 0.2 of a second lap time.
But it's also his strategy call. You know, yeah. Jackie was there with him, but Kane Lowry's strategy was the correct one.
Paranoid seems to be dropping back as well.
As Jampot pits and puts a set of softs on. Osso's all over the back of Colin.
What Batman do, challenging King Luckman as well, coming into the straight. Home straight anyway, pit straight. In DRS range. Luckman is not within DRS range of the car in front. So he's going to be pretty easy pickings. He's got no ARS either, so yeah, pretty fairly standard move for Batman to move up into P13. Not a tremendous amount of points, but I think, you know, starting last, you've come away with points, you should be really happy with that. But 6 laps left, so anything could happen. We'll get a safety car yet, we haven't had a single safety car.
Yeah, the VSC, just the VSC.
I'd just like to say congratulations to the entirety of Tier 3 as well. You know, we had 100% checked in for that race, which is incredible.
As Osso now gets past Colin on the back straight, up into P8.
Ozone goes mental.
And the crowd go wild.
So he's going to be hoping to get past Reggie. We've got the same amount of penalties. As it stands though, Reggie's not that far away from 6th place, and you can get another second's worth of pace in him.
Yeah, just looking at the tyres that people are on, like I don't see Reggie catching Jackie. just due to the tyre age. Jackie on 4-lap old mediums to Reggie's 9-lap hards.
Yeah.
Also on 3-lap old mediums, so he'd be hoping to get past. Oh, Paranoid's picked up another 3-second penalty, which puts Gameful into P2.
Wow. Tremendous result. Just keep it going, mate. Keep it going. I don't think I've ever rooted for a result more than Gameful's at the minute.
Yeah, just that's, you know, making them positions up early on them hards, which, like I said, wasn't expected.
It's the fact that he took a risk. Starting P11, ideally he'd start on mediums because then you'd have pace to challenge anyway. But starting on hards, that's ballsy. It takes a lot of balls to pull that off and actually make it work, and he's made it work a treat so far.
Well, this is exactly it. It's going to be a very difficult one here for driver of the day. Simply because Kane Lowry's come in, topped every qualifying session, got his strategy spot on and led from start to finish. Didn't panic when Jackie got past him, just did what he needed to do. And then Gameful going for the opposite strategy, starting on the hards from P11 and looks to be finishing P2. Obviously, there's 5 laps left yet, so...
Is there any way we can do a honourable mention, because it would feel criminal to just nominate one of them and not let anyone get it, because they've both driven tremendous races.
And, as well, I think Saki up 10 positions into P5. I think he copied the same strategy as Gameful, starting on the hards. Brilliant job by both of them two.
Oh, 100%. The hards are a tricky tyre to race on investor conditions. You don't want to start on them, especially not when everyone else is on softs and mediums, because 8 times out of 10 you get left behind, but these guys just didn't get left behind, they just kept on soldiering on. It's impressive.
Yes, Kane Lowry's just extending that gap on Paranoid now, 6.6 seconds.
Ooh. He's going to be nervous right now. 4 laps between him and his first win. He's going to have an heart rate going.
I'm just on board with Osso here. It looks like he might be trying to make a move on Reggie on the back straight.
As well. He's got more ERS than Reggie. Yeah, fairly easy.
Nicely done. Up into P7.
He went long way around. I'd have probably stayed outside and just gone that way, but it seems to go to inside. He made it work anyway, and Reggie's not going to be able to stick with him, I don't think. On different tyres, possibly. Yeah, Reggie's on hard tyres, 11 laps old, and Osso's on mediums at 5 laps old, so...
Yeah, both on 3-second penalties as well. Osso, if he can close the gap on Jackie by 2.5 seconds, he's going to jump Jackie into P6. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do now with a bit of clear air in front of him.
His final 3 laps at the make or break result.
It looks like
to spin it, or...
Yeah, I was just going to say, it looks like Jackie might be safe because he's in DRS range of Saki, or he was. Yeah. He's just dropped out of it now.
On fresher tyres, I think he is. Well, 1 lap fresher, so he's always going to have an advantage over Saki. It could make it work. Possibly.
Looks like Blue New Soul will pick up a position just due to King Luckman's penalties.
I want to say well done to Teabag up in P4 as well, provisionally. And even if these 2 guys get past him, if he sticks with him, he's got P4 in the bag.
Yeah, main thing for me here is clean racing. No penalties for Kane Lowry, Gameful, Teabag, Blue New Soul. I know obviously he served a drive-through earlier. Nerf Pack, AP Marge, but to see, Gameful's going to inherit P2 due to penalties. You need to keep it clean if you want to win.
We see it so many times that it's just so many tracks, everyone picks up penalties, and the guys that don't pick up penalties, they're laughing by end of race because they've picked up 3-4 positions at times.
Yeah, just looking, that gap now to Osso's increasing from Jackie to Osso. I think Jackie's benefiting having DRS from the 2 in front.
Yeah. He's got Saki. He could have Saki on straight here, possibly, depending on ERS. Saki, well, we've got identical ERS, so they're going to be battling each other into a corner at the minute.
And that's it, Teabag's on the hards. older hards than the two guys behind him on 9 and 8 lap old mediums.
He's making it work in every lap that he keeps him behind. You know, he's closer to this about 4th place that I feel he deserves. He's up 9 places. Another one that, yeah, he's penalty free, made entire strategy work. One of them tracks where, like, if you drive clever, it shows, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Strategies being fairly, you know, influential here, like, so important.
Yeah. We haven't seen as many spins as I thought as well. You know, I thought we'd have got at least one full safety car. It just speaks to quality of racing in Tier 3, but it's always been pretty good.
Definitely has. It has improved. I know at the start of the season there were quite a lot of incidents, but it has, once everyone gets used to racing each other, you know, week in, week out, you see that respect given. As it looks like Jackie's diving up the inside here, Saki. Lovely move.
Week in, week out, you're meeting up with, say, 19 people to race every Friday, and we get all at the same place at the same time. You get to know them, don't you? They start to become mates. That's what I like to see.
As Ruben's commented, the Wizard of Oz.
Ruben. Oh, is that an Osso reference?
Yeah, the Wizard of Oz.
They never stop. We've got the Ozone, we've got the Wizard of Oz.
We've got Osflow as well. Osflow is one that's been going. As Jackie's trying to get past T-Bag, Saki's managed to pick up the pieces there and take Jackie. Good driving here by the two Alpha Tauris.
Oh yeah. I think they need some points picking up as well. Beautiful car, beautiful engine. Really excited to see what racing's like on F1 2022 when we start the season off on that. That's going to be some pretty interesting racing. You see a change in order, but lap 26, Kane Lowry looks to be pretty nailed on now, and I'm going to ride on board with him for the final couple of laps just in case anything happens.
It looked like Saki was diving up the inside of T-Bag, then backed out of it. T-Bag takes the position back, but Jackie got held up at the back of him. This is it's brilliant team driving though from the two Alpha Tauris. They're doing what they need to keep them positions.
They were scoring more points than McLaren today anyway, so probably scoring a pretty decent haul of points actually.
T-Bag, obviously not a major concern with 1 lap left, knowing that the two guys behind him have got penalties as well. It wouldn't be too bad if he just, you know, let them off, but he wants it on track. You know, I can appreciate that. Yeah,
he's a racer at the end of the day. You always want to do it on merit and not just on penalties, but either way, he's got a solid result. I think there's 3 people that we're looking at driver at week for us here. It's going to be tricky.
As Jackie now... Jackie and Saki are both past T-Bag.
So he's got to stick with him. If he sticks with him, last lap, he's got a full lap to stick with him 3 seconds without picking up a penalty. Oh, he cut that corner, then I thought he was going to pick up a penalty.
My heart stopped then. I saw on the little track map a yellow flag in Sector 2 where Kane Lowry was going through the chicane. But it was a slow-moving back marker that moved out of the way. What's happened to Jackie?
Yeah, he's ghosted. It looks like he's in AI.
Fuel. I think he's in low fuel.
Ooh.
Oh no, the car has just gone straight through him.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know what's happened there to Jackie, but he's gone.
Yeah, he's in low fuel. Ooh, heartbreak for Jackie. Wow, he's just dropping positions. That is...
As Kane Lowry, he's coming across the last corner now, down the straight. Don't weave too much, lad. Don't lose it now. And that's it. He takes his first CDR win. Brilliant result there from Kane Lowry.
Massive congratulations and a job well done, Kane Lowry. He dominated it from start to finish.
And then Gameful picking up P2 as well. Brilliant result. Wow. Brilliant drive from Gameful.
What a race. What a race.
As T-Bag holds on, keeps P4. Brilliant. Another brilliant result. Saki up to P5 as well. I know he started P15, so he followed, like I said, Gameful's strategy. Also up to P6.
You just couldn't have predicted that, could you?
Not at all. Not at all. I think Dan did predict earlier Kane Lowry or Ninja for the win.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. He must have been looking at their face. But Kane Lowry's just, he earned that. And he's got that monkey off his back now. Massive well done to Kane Lowry.
Yeah, not too sure what happened to Jackie though. It'll be interesting to find out. I'm not sure if he disconnected or...
No, I think it was just low fuel mode. If he'd have disconnected it, it'd have still been going full throttle on straights, but yeah, I think it was just low fuel mode. Which is a shame for him, because he deserved a good result from that, but maybe his pace came from the fact that he'd under fueled, I don't know.
Yeah, could very well be, could very well be. As Hound now coming around the last corner. 10-second penalty.
10-second penalty. Which will put him down to what? That put him down to P17 or P18, I'm not sure. But there we go, there we have it. The French Grand Prix Season 3 of CDR.
As Gamefull's just commented, no track limit warnings at all. He had 0.01 laps of fuel left.
Ooh.
That is very close.
He made it work. He made it work. It's going to be a debate, or at least a big conversation about driver at day. There's a few that deserve that.
There definitely is. You know, we've had some brilliant drives, some brilliant strategy calls from a number of drivers there, but you know, Kane Lowry's come here. He's dominated every quali session, led from the front, got his strategy right. And, you know, he's took his first CDR win there. Very well deserved.
Like, I want to say Gamefull deserves it, but having looked at what Kane Lowry did, under pressure to getting his first win, he's dominated every session pretty much. He's coming to it with hitting ground running. He's obviously putting work behind the scenes. I'm leaning towards Kane Lowry.
Yeah, that first win's a big one.
Just circumstances of it as well. He didn't just get his first win. He grabbed his first win and he seized his first win. That's what you like to see. So, I mean, personally, for me, got to go to Kane Lowry for performance that he's put in for this weekend.
Yeah, it looks like a few drivers have been caught out there with fueling issues. Just seeing in the comments there, Jampot, every practice race he's done, he had 0.5 laps left of fuel, and this time he was out of fuel with 5 laps to go.
Ooh. That's crazy. It is a track that uses fuel, like we all straight lines and stuff, but there we go. That's all she wrote. The French Grand Prix. I want to say thank you to everyone for joining us, obviously all the Ozone that have decided to descend upon us as per we do every week. I hope we entertained you all. I hope the race entertained you. It was pretty good from where we were sat. And yeah, I want to thank everyone for joining us. Join us next week. It'll be another brilliant race. I'll pass you over to Clay to say goodbye.
Yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. You know, some brilliant driving there on display from everyone. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, thanks for commenting, and we'll see you next week.